Hello, people, kids of God. It's a rainy afternoon, 5 o'clock to be exact, December 26, 2020. And it's a cold, rainy afternoon that we're having right now. Thanks be to God, jobs called up again, but naputol yung usapan namin. And he was even asking me to go there in Milaor. Hindi naman pwede. You just call up again jobs. Okay? Um, and then, I was able to look at the FB page of Congressman El Rey Villaferte, and it's really filled with valid activities called for a congressman in partnership with um, the governor Mix Villafuerte. At I am really very happy that I know that there are a lot more of things that they are doing, no, for the common welfare of the constituents of Camarines Sur. And I am just not only happy and glad, I am proud that we are of the same lineage in my mom's side, in the mother side of my mother. And if I am not mistaken, is in her father's side yung royalty blood from the early years of the kingdom in Spain. I'm not sure, pero basta nakikita ko na maganda naman yung ginagawa ko, no? Ng pinsan ko, yan, mga pamangkin ko. And I hope they would continue on and then, just rise up from the hierarchy in the government service. So far naman po, no, in the Bicol region, though yung camp ni Robredo has been, negatively talking about this family. I'm really not taking sides on them just because we are of the same lineage, but you could see naman guys, no, yung mga pinag-isipan talagang formal um, na mga programa na makikita natin sa mga vlogs, no, ng El Rey Villaferde FB page. Makikita mo naman na napaka-formal, pinag-isipan, hindi minadali, hindi yung raba-raba na, oh, just for the campaign and publicity purposes. Wala. Nandiyan talaga konkreto, di ba? We have these medical mobile vans that roams around the Kamsur, no? Setting up schedules to give free lab test with results. May pa-vitamins pa yan, meron pang gamot, etc. etc. So hindi naman natin yan madedenay, 'di ba? Na hindi naman sa pagyayabang na kadugo namin, but by performance po talaga. When I was in the House of Jobs for more than a year, I could really hear from our place. Pag nandyan po si Kong, kasi ang lakas sa may likod namin yung sa may likod nung munisipyo yung bahay ni Jobs. So I could hear. So alam nyo, every after na umaalis na sila, parang nakaka-feel ako ng nakakamiss, something like that. Eh syempre, 'di ba? Kahit malayo kami na relatives and kahit na hindi niya pa ako kilala as of now, sa pagkakaalam ko, yung parang the connection is really there, no? I could really feel the fatherly um, status niya, supposed to be, no, as congressman in our district. Nafe-feel ko po yun. Even when he speaks to the crowd, no, that I could only hear sa microphone. Tatay talaga, no? And I could also see that in Liz, kahit pa-younger yan sa akin, something like that. So, yan po. So, more power and blessings and protection po sa mga Villafuertes who has served also um, Camarines Sur, no, for a long time already. Talaga nakita ko yung mga konkretong mga proyekto, working, sustainable, resilient na mga programs, no, Diba? At even one time, I was called upon through the phone. Hindi ko alam kung paano nila nakuha yung number ko. And it's under Cafuerte services, yung during the pandemic, yung nag-umpisa pa lang yung mga quarantine lockdown. They wanted to transport people from Naga to Manila if need be, and from vice versa, no? They were trying to call me up. They thought that I was in Manila and that they were offering free ride nga going to Camarines Sur. So sabi ko, thank you po kuya, kasi I'm actually in Camarines Sur right now. But thank you so much for the offer na ganyan-ganyan. So they are really yung hindi mo kailangan dumaan ng kung ano-ano just to be able to talk to them and avail of these services na talaga namang yung iba kasi so much naman bongga yung marketing, di ba? Yung mga programa, may mga pa-posters pa yan, but when you try to top them up, ay naku, sarado yung office, hindi mo makausap, it's not really working, no? We're talking about working programs that are sustainable, really operating, even in non-campaign periods. That is very important, no? With our government servants. Hindi lang yung pag kampanya, nandoon yung mga programs, no, platform of activities, of governance, pero in reality, wala naman nangyayari. So, dyan ako proud sa mga Villafuertes, no. Okay lang naman kasi magstay sa position for a long time, so long as they are doing their jobs, diba? Pretty much like in monarchical kind of government, diba? In ancient Europe, the countries na mayroong royal family governing, such as England, no? London, talagang nandyan na sila for a long time. Talagang sa lineage yung pinaka top gun position, di ba? So, okay lang na matagal sila dyan, lifetime, di ba? So long as what we need to really check is, are they delivering their jobs, no? Do they deliver? Yun ang importante sa atin. Kasi nang babatikos naman talaga to si Robredo, no? We could see in some of the video clips na ginagamit niya pa yung shovel nila to say something. And to think po ng alam ko, kadugo din, no? Relatives din ito. So, I could hear Mr. Ortega because I was able to work for a short time sa office ni Mr. Ortega, Luis Ortega, na siya po yung kwento sa akin na it was even my tito, Mr. Luis Villafuerte, who was the one who supported Robredo to run for mayor. So, ganun na lang, no? Walang utang na loob masasabing ganun, no? Very ungrateful na it was our Tito Luis Villafuerte who really supported financially, morally, no? They were nothing, no? The name is not really popular. I have to say these things, no, to remind lang, no, Mrs. Robredo, that the political career that you are already enjoying right now came all the way from my family, my relatives, no, even if they still do not know me that much. Hindi pa kasi kami na nagmi-meet, but we are really in the lineage. My mom's name is Lourdes Villafuerte Oliva, and then became Martires. Talagang parang second cousin ng mami ko, si Tito Luis. Anyway, so yun lang po. What is important is, nakakatuwa po. Parang today, I was quite inspired, no? For several months, I was not able to check on the uploads sa FB page ni Kong. And it's pretty inspiring, nakakatuwa, nakakagising. I was about to take a nap kanina when I happened to come across one video clip of congressman, and there I went from one clip to the next. very exciting, very well prepared, na hindi siya yung scripted, hindi siya dramatization lang. They are really on cam in action na masasabi, ha. Ang ganda, ang ganda nung music video that they were able to come up with. So ganun ang dapat, no? May quality, pati yung documentation. Parang naisip ko ngayon na hindi naman talaga kailangan yung so much na expensive na publication, no? Just to report to the people yung mga ganap, the events, no? Na yun ngayon na nasasabi ko with regards to the governance of Bonga, no? Bonggang-bongga naman yung PR office natin, no? Na for me, it's a big no-no as an auditor, no? Ang daming dapat pagkakagastusan for the city. Example, rent. Diba? Rent ng lupa is sobrang bongga na, no? The Mariano family has been waiting for payments naman kahit papaano. So, hindi natin kailangan yung mga pa-extrang created positions na PR office, no? Maraming staff, yun, the magazine itself, how much, alam ko po kasi mahal yan, before when I was in the Franciscans of the Immaculate, alam ko po na medyo mahal yan, no? Mahal yung pag-create ng isang magazine like that, no? Kahit pa sabihin mo once a month lang, is a big slash off sa budget ng city, di ba? When it's supposed to create, create kabuhayan, livelihood for each family, no? Yun lang po, as an auditor, for me, it's an invalid expense. Hindi kailangan ganun. You could make use of the social media for all those, no? Yung mga publications natin of the ganaps, no? Events. Hindi kailangan bonggang ganun para ka may real estate company, or you are in a show business, etc., etc. So, congrats sa Villafuertes, and more power. May God bless and protect you, and give you more support for all your good works, good performances in the past years, and in this year 2020, and in the years to come. Congratulations. So, yun lang po yung na-inspire sa akin today. All the rest, siguro, baka na-address po yung ibang issues, no? Walang inspiration sa akin si Lord God. And so, I also repeat na, Japs, andito lang din ako. The last string that you gave me, I was about to answer, pero hindi ko nahabol. So, we're still okay. You just call me up again. Hindi rin ako pwedeng pumunta dyan. And so today, in the feast of Saint Stephen, may God bless us, and it's still Saturday, octave of Christmas. Tama ba ako? Saturday tayo. 1 week po yung ng Christmas na yan until the New Year. And yung New Year naman is the feast of the motherhood of the Blessed Mother, and of course related to the Holy Family, the feast day of the Holy Family. So, go on lang po tayo sa mga mabubuti nating ginagawa. So, makikita naman po yan. Yung mga gumagawa ng mabubuti, sometimes sila pa yung mga silent, diba? For the longest time. And sometimes, kung sino pa yung mga biktima api, may right time po yan magsalita, diba? May right time talaga. So, kayong mga gumagawa ng masasama dyan, I want to repeat lang yung yesterday na vlog ko, that it's just so tiring, no? That some people are geared towards coming up with criminalities, yung mga sinful things. Why not direct all those resources, talents, time, towards goodness, good works, kung ano yung mabuti. Yun ang paglaanan natin ng precious time natin, precious life, precious intelligence, no? Our knowledge, lahat ng makinarya natin, lahat ng skills, gifts, always towards what is good, no? Whether we are in public service or not, whether we are in the church or not. Diba? Yun lang yung pwede nating pagtuunan. At the end of the day, you could sleep well. Diba? Kahit unfinished pa yung work mo kasi we are in a limited time kind of thing. Kahit naman sabi ko nga noon, when I was the executive secretary to the president of the Universidad de Santa Isabel, sometimes my boss would give me a lot of things to do. Okay? So, ako naman, common sense, 'di ba? Ang dami yan, tuk, 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 pak, pak, pak. Ang dami yan. Wala pa dyan yung mga pansarili ko din na, 'di ba, in my own office. So, what I do is common sense, 'di ba? I would ask sister those times, Sister Sage, Sister, can I ask lang, what is of most priority so that I could address them, kumbaga, ahead of time and ahead of everything that you told me. Natawa daw si natawa si Sage kasi ang nakita ko rin doon, she was testing me. 'Di ba? Para nasagot ko pa yata siya that time that with the limited time that I have, not even the most intelligent person in the whole world would be able to do all of those tasks all at the same time, 'di ba? Tama naman po baga, 'di ba? 8 to 5 lang naman yung office hours. If you're given like 20 tasks, 'di ba? Na lahat 'yun research and then paperwork, computer works, something like that. So nagtawanan po at nakarating siya sa PR office namin. We also have a created office those times. Yung kasi it's a school, so okay lang yun, no? It's not a public fund that we're using. We had our own public relations office that's taking care of, you know, interviews by the television, sa radio, and then they also came up with, of course, magazine also, and a lot of souvenir items created specifically for the university by such office, na kung saan nandun noon si sino ba yan, si Attorney Chi Diaz that time, nung dalaga pa siya, etc. So ibig ko sabihin, all you need to do is really to discern ano yung mas importante, 'di ba? So I really asked that question to my boss, the President Sage, at na-pissed off po siya, yung parang, pero alam ko kasi, psychologically, she was testing me. Diba? She could not find way to piss me off. So, yun talaga, diba? Alin po dito, sister, yung pinaka-priority? Kasi ang dami. No? I even was the one making her schedules, sometimes booking for her. Kumbaga, tapos yung office secretary, because we also have our office secretary, iba pa yun, no? I am the executive secretary, administrative in nature yung position. And we have an office secretary. Pero ako naman yung very close sa kanya sa lahat. Something like that. Nagalit daw, nakarating sa PR office yung yung galit niya because the person in charge also of that office happens to be her confidant. Kumbaga, doon siya paggalit siya, sinasabi niya doon sa office na yun, mga reklamo niya sa buhay niya. Nagreklamo na, 'di ba? Pero mali din 'yun, 'di ba? Sister siya, ganyan. I do not know why I have to say all of this in this vlog, pero that time Attorney Diaz went to my office and like, ikaw na, sister, sabi niya gano'n, saludo ako. Sabi ko, about what? At yun, sinabi niya nga, sinabihan mo si sister ng ganyan? Bakit naman, Chi? Sabi ko. Diba kahit naman pinakamagaling na tao, kahit pinakamatalino ka, kahit alam na alam mong gawin ang lahat-lahat na yan. Example, if you give me 5 books of accounting, since I have been doing them for a long time na, especially kung gamay na ako sa company, pwede ko siyang gawin, ha? Even in a day. Kung hindi naman malalaki yung transactions, I could do it. Pero sabihin mo sa akin na iba-iba yung nature, 'di ba? So I have to say that, Chi. Kasi napansin ko rin, guys, she was not just testing me. She was trying to piss me off, and she was trying to test how I would react. Kasi hindi ko po alam kung ano yung mga nakarating na balita noon kay sister, because I was just promoted in that position because I came from the religious education department. And actually, my position was a created one. Wala sa history na nagkaroon ng executive secretary position. So, nakita ko doon psychology sa kanya. She was trying to test me, at the same time parang trying to piss me off, trying to, vexate me, something like that. But in the end, who was vexated? She was the one, because she told the PR office about it. Sorry ha, sisters, the daughters of charity, because we're talking here also of, I think that's one form of bullying in a workplace. 'Di ba? Because yun na nga, I think what's entering my mind is that back then, I do not know what stories reached her office, no, about me. Alam mo na, ang daming mga jealousy, envy, no, because for a short period I became regular. I always went ahead of time, no, went ahead of time. I know nga that there was someone na kabatch ko rin, naging close ko rin. But because I went ahead in the regularization and then promotions, ang dami ako narinig, no, out of jealousy and envy. So, I did not know what my boss was up to. Diba? That she wanted me to be close at hand. She wanted me to be in her office. But, on the other hand, if she really knew my background, of course, diba, I came from Asian Institute of Management, even if I was not able to finish them up, and my performance was also, my grades, yung kahit hindi siya napakataas, okay naman siya. So yun po, yung experience na gano'n, na si Attorney Chi mismo nagsabing, ikaw na, sister, saludo ako sa'yo. Sabi niya gano'n, hindi ko kaya yung ginawa mo. Sabi ko, alin doon? Yun, sabi ko, hindi naman kailangan, Chi, diba, na ano lang naman, nagiging totoo lang naman ako, na paano ko pagsasabay-sabayin yun, mga 20 tasks, no? Ako pa yung always din siya out of the office. Sometimes there are problems or disputes in the university. Institutional siya ha, from kinder to the graduate school, and from the janitor to the highest position ranking faculty and non-faculty members. Ikaw yung magde-deal, no? I am also parang settling and solving some minor things. Pag wala siya, I make minor decisions, something like that. So, hindi lang yung task na binibigay niya sa akin. And I also manage the working students, the office staff, etc. Everything. Ako pa naman, hindi rin ako pabaya, guys. Pati yung kalinisan, tinitingnan ko, even if it's not my area of responsibility. Hindi ako yung type na nagpapabaya lang. Sige na lang, fun tayo kasi the boss is out. I'm not like that. Yeah. So, yun po, yun lang yung naalala ko talaga si Attorney Chi, na ganun yung sinabi niya. But that time, she was just, in the law school pa lang. Grabe ka, sabi niya gano'n. Ikaw na, saludo ako sa'yo. Na ganyan na mo, boss mo, the president. O bakit? Sabi ko, there's no way to go but to be honest. Diba? And to clarify. Hindi naman sinabing bawal mag-clarify. And besides, the way I said them is also with respect. With respect naman po, kasi hindi ako yung mainsulto na, sister, kasi kung nagtataray na ako noon, guys, mas talagang I would be harsh, no? What do you think of me? Like that? Hindi. Yung pagkakasabi ko lang sa kanya, very silent, very mild. Especially that time, guys, hindi pa ako marunong nun makipag-away talaga. Sinabi ko lang sa kanya na, sister, what do you want me to do first from amongst the tasks that you've given me, and you're requiring me for all of this paperworks? Which one do you prefer that I would give priority to? Ganun lang naman eh. But she was like so pissed off. No? Ayun yung naging ano namin pala ni sister na up until now, hindi ko man lang siya nakausap about it. And I could also remember right now at one time because I am also the one, sending her text messages, calling her up. In fact, I have communications allowances, no, because we need to be closely, calling up each other, especially if she's out of the office, of course. There was one time na na-miss-send ko po yung isang message. I don't know if I was trying to send text message to my sister yata. Galit na galit po siya. Kasi nakalimutan ko na yung message. But she was sick that time. That time she was sick. Pero parang may inuutos ako doon sa tinext ko eh. Sa tinext ko na tao. I think my sister nga na parang kunin mo yung ganito, ganyan. Tapos yun, nakarating na naman po doon sa iba na grabe naman siya. Alam niya na may sakit daw siya. Tapos tinext ko daw siya ng ganun. Diba? Ay nako. Kaya noon, sabi ko, si sister, parang nagkakaroon din ng psychological stress. She also admitted it to us. Kaya nga daw siya nagpalagay ng mga, ang daming arte noon sa President's Office. Meron yung mga waterfalls, meron yung mga, sa part niya, sa office niya are all decorations with pink accent. While in my office, still her collections were all with blue themed, kumbaga yung mga decors, kung ano-ano, mga angels, ganyan-ganyan. Kasi she wanted daw to be relaxed, no? To be relaxed. Yung parang, she admitted na nasa stress siya psychologically. Kaya nakita ko sa kanya yung, mababa yung emotional quotient. That's how we would say it. Diba? Kasi napakasimple naman yung mga sinabi ko sa kanya, napakasimple nung clarification as a boss. Pero she's like, oh, grabe yung reaction. So, yun din yung isa sa comment ko when it comes to that. Kasi madre sila. There was already a time when they have considered really to put a lay person in the top gun position and they'll just be, support and, monitor things. Kasi kagaya nga niyan, di ba? Dapat na nasa top gun yan na position in universities like that are those who have proven themselves even in the corporate world, not necessarily in the academe. Kasi pag management position, guys, ahead ka dapat of everyone, even the emotional quotient. That's one thing I've learned from the management school. Kahit alam mo yan lahat, but situations would tell you that it's not written in the textbooks. Diba? It's not even theorized, no? When you take up theories about management, most of the time and most textbooks would not talk about emotional quotient. Emotional quotient is very much needed when you are dealing with people, no? Pag may sinabing ganito yung staff mo, maiirita ka ba kaagad when you know for the fact na mas mababa sila sa'yo? Something like that, di ba? Ikaw yung boss, ikaw yung nag-uutos, ikaw yung nagbibigay ng rules. So, you know exactly what you wanted. So, if the staff is clarifying things with you, it's just that normal. Di ba? Kaya at this point, si Sage, Sister Asuncion, I would assess as a manager, no, mababa yung emotional quotient niya. Hindi siya marunong mag-deal, with problems. Sometimes meron siyang mga tao noon na mabilis yung pinagbibigyan, yung mga alumni na yan. Sabi ko mali. At wala naman akong voice, during board meetings. Hindi kasi pwede yung office secretary kasi, salient points and, sensitive issues are being taken up during those meetings na hindi pwedeng mailabas sa mga lower, of course. So, I don't have a voice. All I do was to, take notes, no? And make the minutes after, and make communications, make memorandums, etc., etc. All those paperworks that she needs. Excuse me. So, yun po yung magiging comment ko at this point, no? Emotional quotient is very much needed. Actually, to all of us, no? If you even manage your own life, even personal life, if you are emotionally matured person, hindi ka kaagad maiirita, hindi ka kaagad, kumbaga, titiklop, no, with a simple situation, simple things that was said to you. You need to assess if you are being tested, if you are, etc. I'm not saying that mataas yung emotional quotient ko, guys, ha. Hindi ako nagkiklaim niya, but I want to reach that point, no? Kasi hindi mo talaga makakayanan yung buhay. Especially guys, if you are really with positions, no? In the government, in the companies, in academic circle, in any organization, you have to have that maturity, no? Kaya nga pati nga yung sa government, 'di ba? Parang sinasabi ko na pinaka-tip ko diyan, guys, for you to be able to, survive and not be irritated, and instead, come up with real delivery, no? Good delivery, that's the word. Good accomplishments. If you see your position as like a mother or father of the constituents, because by that you will be serving with in peace and with love, no, with love talaga and charity. Hindi mo na iindahin siguro na mangungurakot ka, because the more that you check what is needed by the constituents, the more that you would see that sometimes there are really no extra money for anything else but for the common welfare and the welfare of those who actually individually and personally, reaches your office for certain needs na hindi natin napoproject, di ba? Kasi there are needs na meron palang ganon, di ba? There are cases like that. That's why we have to have funds. So long as they are constituents, so long as valid naman yung nire-report, then we should extend help, So expenses should just be documented, and that would be valid one already. Yun lang yung masasabi ko dito, no? Not all management school and even commercial schools does not, give focus on the emotional maturity of supposed to be business people, and especially those in the management or administrative level. Napaka malaking importansya po yung emotional maturity. Kasi paano yan kung manager ka ng isang kumpanya, sa konting manapok ka na, no? So, konting sigalot, misbehavior ng staff mo, ay mag-walk out ka kaagad. Wala ka masosolve pagka ganyan, no? And especially po kasi, hindi naman nakalagay sa mga management textbooks or commercial textbooks yung psychological side of it all. Lahat po tayo nagde-deal sa mga tao. You're not dealing with computers or robots, robotic equipments all the time, di ba? And robots and computers are also done by people, di ba? So, napakalaking, siguro, yung tip ng vlog na to at this time is really, we need to explore, and we need to seek and ask and pray for emotional quotient to be good, no? To have a good status, because although it's not everything, malaki yung tip. I mean, we would be ahead of everyone if we have that one. Ako din, train din ako nun sa tito ko and sa dad ko rin, no, na masigaw yung mga yun. Pag mahina ka, guys, wala, titiklop ka na talaga, lalayas ka. Pero kasi pag mataas kasi yung emotional quotient mo, hindi lang yung pasensya mo dun yung pwedeng gamitin eh. Yung pag-intindi, do you get me, guys? To understand the person. What if he is already sick of high blood? What if diabetic na? Sa dami ng iniisip kasi mas mataas yung posisyon nila sa'yo. Imaginein mo kung mayroong mga problems yan na hindi sinasabi sa inyo, no? In the company. But they keep it to themselves. Tapos may konti kang problemang sinasabi. So, maiirita sila. Like my uncle before, he would tell us that before you approach me, no, if there are problems, why don't you come up with some solutions that you could recommend? Diba? Parang you should have already pang suggestions sa boss ninyo. Kasi yung tama naman, di ba? Because the boss thinks about everything. Yung pangsweldo, especially kung owner ng company, etc. etc. Tapos ikaw, area mo na yan, pati na lang paglinis sa area mo, hindi mo magawa. Ganon yung kind of training that I had, no, with my tito, also with my dad, na yung training nila sa mga staff. In fact, I know, I could brag about it. There were really some employees that we had that, na ngayon owns their own companies. Some of them went abroad. Even yung mga boy-boy lang namin noon, nila dad, staff nila. Ayun, nasa abroad na, mayaman na. We were trained. They were also trained, no? To have like that, the skills, no? That if you have problems, kaya mo naman. Kasi lahat naman tayo may isip, di ba? Hindi naman all the time na yung owner lang yung ng kumpanya at presidente yung kukuhaan natin ng solutions and ideas. Pero, excuse me, of course, we need to decide upon things within the rule pa rin ng kumpanya, di ba? Yung company rules and procedures na ginagawa. And if it's still possible, you may call up your immediate supervisor and ask, may ganito po, naisip ko sir, ganito, ganyan. Okay ba ito? Di ba? For you to be safe. Ang point lang ng tito ko noon, also my dad, na you have your own intelligence, di ba? You know the situation, you've been in the company for a long time, your position, the work that is given to you in your position, you know already for several years already. So, dapat meron ka, sir, may ganito po. Suggestion ko, sir, pwede ba natin itong gawin? 1, 2, 3. Kung ano yung nakikita mong suggestion mo for courses of actions, you could tell the boss, no? Kaya yun po ang naging training namin sa company namin. Those times, I do not know any longer right now because my cousin already took over because my tito already passed away. So, something like that po, yung emotional quotient. Especially, people of the Lord God, if you're talking about public office, no, the government, dapat hindi natin yung pinahihirapan yung mga constituents. And I could see it in the Villafuerte kind of governance, no? So far. Ayoko naman mag-sound na napaka di ba, yun, patronizing my own cousins, distant though they may be. Pero makikita mo naman, di ba, konkreto talaga yung mga proyekto. Tinatawagan pa nila yung mga tao. Tapos there was even this one time when I got sick, I try lang doon sa Facebook. And they were even waiting for me na kung may reseta daw, sila bibili ng gamot, ganyan. And I was just 2 week na rin nung last year, di ba, nung nagkasakit ako ng bonggang-bongga. They were one of the offices I tapped through the Facebook. But, when assistances came from the relatives, sinabi ko pa nga sa sister ko na, uy, nag-try ako dun sa Cafuerte. Hinang-hina po ako. Sabi ko, gusto mo i-try yun para meron bang di ba? Baka mas grabe pa yung mga gamot ko, something like that. Kasi isang ointment ko, merong 2,000, ganon. Pero effective naman. So, sabi ng sister ko, wag na, enough naman na siguro ito. So, hindi na po ako nag-follow up. Pero, talaga guys, without me even telling the staff there, na Villafuerte din ako, they are really, willing to help sa abot po ng makakaya nila. So, I'm not bragging out of, publicity only here. So, twice po akong nag-try, and twice sila pa po yung really to take effort to get in touch. No? So, yun po. So, this vlog is about good governance, and they are really gift to us, no? Public servants who are really serious with their jobs. Na sometimes po hindi na natin nakikita behind the scenes paano nakaka-come up yung mga in possession din ng public servants natin, ano yung mga pinagdadaanan nila, ano yung mga sacrifices that they give, no, just to be able to give us positive positive mindsets about situations, even in the midst of pandemic, even in the midst of disasters, even in the midst of typhoon, flood. They try to be positive for all of us, to vibrate, to resonate, no? Positivity, in situations that we may be able to rise up. 'Di ba? Imaginein mo pag may mga disasters na ganyan. Yung simple lang na pamigay, even if we say that it came from the fund, especially if they are given out of love, not only out of publicity, ay napakalaking bagay, 'di ba? So, at this point, I want to say thank you and be blessed, Be blessed back. All of you in the government offices, starting off na rin sa mga Villafuertes, and all of you, you know yourselves, and going all the way up to President Duterte, for all those moments that you have, thought about the welfare of your constituents, us, for all the sacrifices you've given, for all the hard works you have really exercised, in order to provide services and assistances as your public office calls for and even beyond, Marami kasi dyan, guys, hindi naman nagsasalita, kung ano yung mga sacrifices na nagagawa nila, just to uphold what is written in the Constitution, ma-uphold lang nila yung mga yung mga laws na nakalagay doon, to give us protection, to provide safety, peace, and order to all of us, and to give concrete assistances during times of disaster, pandemic, typhoon, flood, etc. Even also volcanic eruptions, etc., etc. So at this point, I want to say thank you so much to all of you. You know yourselves, and may God bless you, protect you, and may you continue to serve the public, in peace and with love for God and for neighbors. Thank you, and still Merry Christmas, and may we all have a blessed New Year.